So today I am cutting some binding, and I like to cut my binding at 2¼ inches. So I'm going to show you how to do that. GE Designs, she has come out with some really great charts that she has on her website that are free to download. And the first one that she does is that, like, if you're looking at yardage and you have a half a yard and you want to know what can I get from a half a yard. So she's told you all the different things that you can get from a half a yard. She also has gone through to say if you're doing number of units that you can get from each width of strip. So if you're doing 1 inches, you can get 40 1 inch is 1 inch squares out of a width of fabric. If it's 8 inches, an 8-inch wide that you need, you can get 5 of them out of a 40-inch wide. So these are really helpful when you're trying to figure out how much you can get out of one cut of fabric, okay? This next one is designed for the mini ruler. And this is the Stripology mini ruler. It's like this. It has 1/2 inch ones, just like this one has 1/2 inch ones right there. That you can put your rotary cutter in that and cut every 1/2 inch there. They also have the 1/4 mini, and these have a 1/4 inch slots. These are really great because you see it has this 1/8 inch right here. You have a 1/8 inch also on this one here, but you can cut 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8 to there. I really like this one too, though, because it also gives you every 1/4 inch cut. So you have so here's your 0 line. Here's your 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 3/4. I like that you can really get down and do every 1/4 inch, and makes it really easy to cut things that are in in increments of a 1/4 inch. So this has some things that says this is your first. If you're going to do a 3/4 inch strip, then you're going to do a cut at 0, 1 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, and 6. Then you're going to turn the ruler. What they mean by that is that on this one, you're going to use it this direction and do your first cuts at 1 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, and 6. And then lifting up, of course, you've already made your 0 cut, so you know exactly where to line that up. You're going to turn it around, and your next cuts are going to be at 3/4 of an inch and 2 1/4, 3 1/4, and 5 1/4. So this one helps you. This chart helps you in using this ruler and getting the cuts that you need there. Okay. If you're using the extra large Stripology ruler, which this one is the squared, the extra large Stripology goes out to 21 inches. And so you can use that here to cut and do your cutting half hexagons. And it shows you, like, if your finish size is 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, then this is how wide your strip needs to be, your first cuts, your second cuts to get there. Okay. This one is cutting 60-degree triangles and 30-degree right triangles. And it gives you explanations for how to do that, where your first cuts and second cuts need to be. But this is the one that I'm going to use today. This is cutting in 1/4 inch increments because I like my binding to be at 2 1/4 inches. And so I just need to come down to 2 1/4. These are my first cuts. These are my second cuts. Now this is done using the extra large Stripology ruler. That's why it goes out to 13 1/2, 8, 15 1/2, 20. But I am using a square today because my piece of fabric is not as wide. Okay. So I'm going to be just using that. I'm going to take and put my fabric down here and kind of line it up on a line here and there. And it already has kind of my first cut, but I'm just going to double check to make sure that that is square. And I might just give myself a new line because I cut from this one. Okay, so I'm going to, by the way, if you're using, this is a 60 millimeter. You can use a 45 millimeter to cut anything up to, or it's recommended to cut anything up to 4 layers. So I could have used a 45 millimeter, but this one is going to be, if you did more than the layers than that, 6 to 8 layers, you want to use this knife because it's going to have enough depth on it to cut through all those layers. Okay, so my first cut here is going to be 4.5. My next one is going to be 9. The last one is 13.5, and I don't have a 13.5 here. I go to 12.5. And this would be 13.5 here. So I know that I don't have enough fabric for that. Then I'm going to take it and move it over to my dotted 1/4 inch line right here. Make sure everything's lined up there and down here. And then I'm gonna go and cut at the 2 inch mark and the 6.5 inch mark and the 11 inch mark. And that's gonna give me 2 1/4 inch strips right there. And then I just need to put them together. I usually do this method. I will take and put them on like this, line them up, and I will sew from, from corner to corner there, and then make sure it looks great, and then cut everything off. So that's how I do my binding, and hopefully this helps you today in doing your binding and cutting what you need and being able to use and get more out of using your Stripology rulers. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe because you'll get more content like this. And if you ring the bell, that allows you to decide how often you get notifications from us. Everything or just occasionally or whatever, you can decide that. But anyway, thanks for joining us today. Have a great day. Chat to you later.